Hi, everybody. Rodney Roberts with His Way Discipleship. And we want to start off the 2025 season of our podcast with a little message for you. After this one, we'll be dropping a new episode every Friday, like we did in 24, season 1. But I want to start off with a little story. I want to tell you about a friend of mine who lived in a small town near here. And he lived close to work. He walked just a couple of blocks every day to work, and each day he passed a young lady that was in her yard tending to the flowers and gardening, and he always walked by and said hello, and he would just keep on going every morning. But every time he walked by, he said hello, and he did this for like a few months, and then one day he thought, she seems like a nice girl. I think I'm going to stop for a few minutes and talk to her. So he left 15 minutes early, and he stopped, and he said, "Hi, Sheila. How you doing?" Because he knew her name. He knew who she was. And he spent a little bit of time talking with her and found out she was pretty interesting. They both liked working in the garden and things like that, so they had plenty to talk about. And they chatted for a few minutes, and he went on to work. Well, this became a morning thing every day on his way to work. He would stop and talk to Sheila for a few minutes. After a while, he got to know her pretty well. They actually had a lot of things in common, and she was just a wonderful person to be around. So he started leaving earlier and earlier over time, and at one point he just asked her, if she'd like to go out. Wanted to spend more time with her, not just the morning chat on the way to work. So they began to date, and after a while, they had fallen in love with one another, and he popped the question. They got married, they had kids, they had a beautiful life together. The reason I'm telling you this story is because our relationship with God is exactly like that. God sent his only son, Jesus Christ, so that we would have a way to the Father. Jesus is the only way to the Father. And so many of us know who Jesus is, but we don't know Jesus. If we don't take that 15 minutes to stop and say hello and talk to Jesus, tell Jesus who you are. We all know he knows everything that's going on with all of us, but he wants us to give him ourselves. And when we get into the Word, we hear the words of Christ. We hear the message that God has prepared for us through other spirit-filled men and women. So if we do, like my friend in the story, we stop and take the time to get to know Jesus, to get closer to Jesus, then you're going to fall in love with Jesus. And at some point, you won't be able to live without him. And I'm here to tell you that you won't be able to live for eternity without him. So it's a worthwhile endeavor, and you're going to fall in love. We're going to talk about Jesus in all of our episodes through the coming year, and we hope that you join us. God bless you.